Welcome back to AI War Fleet Command, everybody. Champion Adventures continues as we're actually going to get to some action. Now, we're almost half an hour in, and we still control only Iris. We haven't even attacked yet, though I think I'm about ready to. Doing this a little bit slower and a little bit unusual. Now, we are getting some scrap from the Preservation Wardens, who have already started coming in here. Of course, they are on the maximum setting, so we're going to be seeing a lot of them. Beginning waves, they came a little bit faster than usual, as you'd expect with an upgrade in difficulty. And I had one that came in through Namaka, 50-some ships and a couple starships. One came in through Maxami Bromide, about 100 ships and a starship. And those were not a problem to deal with. Thankfully, neither one of them came in with a beachhead. I had most of the turrets up, and now I've got them all. I went up to Mark II grav turrets, but then I also went up eventually to getting the Mark III scouts. I want to do things a little bit differently here. You can see the galaxy map and all the scouting that we've done. Normally, I just automatically will grab the systems around the homeworld to sort of give it a buffer zone and insulate it from attack. But since we're going for sort of minimal AI progress in this one, I don't want to take any system that isn't a big strategic value. Now, I am still going to knock out the warp gates in these so that we don't get any beachhead waves onto the homeworld. But if I did that now, it wouldn't do me any good, because there's nowhere else for them to attack. The waves would come into an adjacent system, and they'd simply travel in that way. And that wouldn't do me any good. So you don't want to get rid of all of the warp gates. That defeats the whole point of doing gate raiding. So we've got some different options here. And first of all, if we just look around at, say, let's take a look at Europa. Now, these blue ones are the Fortress King. And this is what that looks like. Modular Fortress Command Station. Most command stations are relatively fragile targets. This command station is something else. It is big, it is modular, and it is not happy. Taking one down may require experimentation. And so I think what's going on with these, they will have somewhat random sort of types of turret batteries, and you've got to figure out what they are, you know, by what ships they're destroying, and then you can go after them a little bit more effectively. They're going to be a royal pain no matter what. I definitely don't want to start by taking down one of those. Then, in some places like Sylvia, it says V-Gen there, and that is the Dark Spire Vengeance Generator. And that's this thing right here. So, basically, if enough ships die on this planet, you can see at the bottom it says it will spawn some very unpleasant ships. And any generator that have been triggered in the entire galaxy will do that. So, we really don't want to tick these things off if we can avoid it. Anything nasty like that I've marked with an F2. And here, we've got, there's an advanced research station, but there's also a raid engine. So if we have any military ships on any planet adjacent to Jakku, then that's going to trigger it, which is going to get interesting because over here in Camilla, guess what? That's where one of the nebula wormholes is. So we're going to have to go there eventually. So where do we want to expand to? We found a bunch of data centers, but in terms of stuff that we're definitely going to want to take, well, V-Date is a possible target. Unfortunately, it's got several problems with taking that. One is that, of course, it's got one of the modular fortresses, and I want to be more powerful before I start taking those on. I like the ship in here, a nice anti-fleet ship, Spire rail cannon ship. So I may want to get that eventually. There's a data center here. You know, over here we could potentially get another ship. I don't like being next to that many high-marked planets, but on the other hand, this is a good place. The only ways to get there, though, are through Nemesis, which is just a huge central thing, and we've got to get the champion in there eventually to get into Massalia. Or to go through My Dad this way. Pallas, Neptune, My Dad, V-Date. There's no other way to get through here, and like I said, it's a little bit too strong. I'm looking at red systems, really, and those are the Special Forces Captain. So they're going to get reinforced, but they're not going to have as much to deal with initially. We've got the data center, but also an AI coprocessor. So we found one of those. Going to want to find more of those eventually, of course. Out this way, this is the super terminal, which is really close, just 2 jumps away. And over here, we may want to take this eventually It's got a radar jammer Mark II and a zenith power generator, so that would be good for trying to defend that, especially if they're in the same location. Let's just sort of check out where those are. So the zenith power generator is right here on top of the Mimas wormhole. And then that radar jammer is not far away from Mimas, although there's the Calliope one over there. So it's unfortunate those wormholes are that close together. But otherwise, and of course, we've got this nasty thing to deal with as well. That would be worth considering just for the energy and the defensibility. But right next to those two and right on top of a wormhole into the nebula is Mimas, which has an advanced research station that unfortunately doesn't have great ships types. It does have a barracks. It's got the teleporting leech Mark V fabricator as a bonus. I'm not too excited about that as a ship. You know, they're a teleporting parasite, but they're also very weak and expensive to build as compensation. So they're sort of a specialist parasite type of ship to capture others. Got to be kind of careful with them. I'm not super excited about that. Now, the Advanced Research Station can give us the regular version of that. Or if we wanted to hack it, we could get the autocannon, which I like better, but not that much better. The MLRS. So there's nothing really exciting. I do think this is going to be my first target. Now, I like the idea of getting a secure wormhole for the champion. We don't have to control these to get the champion in there. We just got to send it through. But I like the idea of just getting one of those, getting out this way, because I definitely want to use the super terminal. What I want to do is use that before I do any hacking, because the response is proportional to the hacking. And so I want to do all my hacking sort of later in the game, but then that makes the early part of the game a little more of a struggle. So I've scouted out about as far as I can. There's nothing too interesting in most of these. There's a lot of high mark stuff. Oh, I didn't realize Laetitia had Mark IV factory, so I hadn't noted that. So Starship Constructor here, factory here. And that makes Laetitia a really big time target for later on. But I have to emphasize the later on in that. We don't know what's in Tethys. You know, Diabeasting, nothing particularly dangerous there. We'd want to find out Narrate. We want to find out some of the other ones nearby. I'd probably want to take V-Date first and then sort of hop from here into Laetitia. Something like that. But again, it's another blue AI Fortress King world. So my initial goal here is to get into Mimas. Take this. I'm sure we'll be getting some response in there, and we'll just need to deal with that as it comes. They do have a barracks with 350 some ships, and I'm sure that's just only going to increase. So I don't know if we'll be able to do this in one go. I tend to doubt it. But, you know, one thing at a time. However long, how many times we have to pound in here, take this, and then we can eliminate these warp gates around here. Maybe knock out a data center or two, and at least have our homeworld secure from beachhead waves. So there are two main features to the Mimas defense. Obviously the barracks, and then also they've got their special forces guard posts. They don't add to the defense, they just create more of those wonderful fun things. There's our research station. They like these guardians, special forces guardians and spider guardians. Then when I came in here, there was a missile guard post. We took that out, but there's more down here. One there, one by the barracks. So those are the primary things. But first, I wanted to get rid of this stinking hive. We've already lost about 50 ships since I came. There goes another one. Oh, is that just going to run away? Yeah, it's not going to let me kill it. Okay, that's fine with me. And here comes some more enemy ships to Iris. Now, the thing about it is, it's time for the next wave, and I'm going to have to delay this, because I can't just attack in here. If it's a beachhead attack, I'm going to have nothing to defend. And it's probably not with that amount. But, you know what? I just can't risk it. And the second attempt, well, you know, stuff happened. Their guardians, their spider guardians, really, with this early tech, they made things a pain. They really did. But at the same time, like the champion flying around here doing its thing, and it helps quite a bit. We do have a flagship, and that's been helping us out. Now, we have a full cap of all of our fleet ships in here, originally at least. And then we've got the champion, and we've got flagship, and that's it. there's not enough energy for anything else. But there you go. That's the last of the missile guard posts, and they're going to reinforce and whatnot. They're going to bring other stuff in. But I think our next step here is to gather our full strength, because we've got to try to take down those ships in the barracks, and that's not going to be easy. And what is this? This is another... Yeah, that Lightning Guardian. Ugh. Now, while I did that, I uncovered one other interesting thing. Apparently, the champion, the way it learns is by killing things. So it actually is advanced to level 2. It says, I have advanced to level 2. Have a 1 unlock points. We got actually an achievement. It says, I think, Beginning Upon the Road was the name of it. And here we go. So if we select that, we go to our champion unlocks. This is under the controls screen if you want to get there directly. And this one here says, not compatible with Spire Tech champion hulls. So I'm assuming that, you know, sort of that we start with that or whatever, because it wouldn't let us build this. But this shows what we have, and then it says you can upgrade them. I want to get the shield eventually. I don't think it adds a huge amount, though. If I added this... Right now we've got 2 of them for 75,000, and it's got 150,000 total hull. So right now it's increasing the hull by 50%. We add this, it'd be increasing it by 100%. I do want that, but I think I'm going to go with the Needler next. And the only reason I'm picking that is it just seems to... All of these get their bonuses against various other things. It's rapid firing. The overall damage over time I think is as good as any of them. So let's see. If we add this, and we are going to unlock Needler Module 2. Yes. Okay, and then we need 2 points to upgrade it again. Still 1 point for the others. Now, I can't add this now, because if I change the modules, I need like friendly engineers or whatever around to add it. So I really can't do that. I just unlocked it. And then we can see now I need 1,500 points. So it doubled the amount of points that I need. And I think it just, that's based on like the strength value of whatever it kills. It's the way it seems to work. In any case, I'm going to knock out this barracks. We're going to fight, and we're probably going to lose. But I'm also... What I want to do here is... Oh, yep, we got an achievement for upgrading. I want everybody gathered together, because I want to use this shield thing. Okay, now I'm going to use the Shadow Shield. Now, obviously, this is going to be of limited use because, one, this thing runs out in like 20 seconds. But then also, when we're firing underneath it, it's not going, we're not going to do as much damage. But the idea is, there we go, that it will absorb some damage. We'll do some damage to them, so it can't hurt. There we go. All right, now let's use it again. So I want to, like, sort of repetitively use this to hopefully extend the life of my ships in this battle. Oh, yeah, those are all going to come through it anyway. And, yeah, bad things happening. And if I continually, like, put this up, let's see, let's put it up, I don't know, about, yeah, okay, there. That's as far away as I can get it. And then move back. It's still going to block off some of what they're trying to do, I think. Yeah, I've got a bunch of viral shredders, and I can still do a couple more. And I think at this point, though, it's just best to get out. We just don't have that much left. And we only took out about 100 of their ships. But I do think we got a decent amount of their viral shredders. We're clearly going to have to do this a few times. Now, ultimately, they followed us back to Mangsami Bromide, and I thought they were just going to hang out in here. They were right down in this area. But no, they joined in when a reprisal wave hit. Which says home command station under attack. That was only for very briefly. And this ended up being not the wisest move the AI ever made. Because in here with our turrets and everything helping us defend, I don't see us getting overrun by these ships. There's no starships with them. You know, the viral shredders are all gone. Okay, here's a Special Forces Rally Guardian. But we don't have that many turrets in here. We've certainly got enough to fend off a couple hundred ships that are not that high a mark. So they sort of did us a favor here. And the thing is, while this is going on, now Mimas has basically no defense. So I figured this was a gift, and then we can clear these out and then head back in there. Now, by the way, I did boost up, since the Needler is what I have the most of. I boosted that up. I got 4 Needlers on here, and then just 1 each of the Laser and the MLRS on my champion. We'll just go ahead and come in here, help clear this out, rebuild, and be on our way. Interesting that the champion is all of a sudden not getting more experience from this. I don't know how exactly that works. Maybe just the other ships were all getting the kills because there's so many ships involved in the combat. We'll have to see. Looking forward on that. So we're most of the way to that first objective. We have Mimas now under control. They were sending some hybrids and whatnot through, and there we go. Here's some more. But we were able to be just fine. Wasn't any problem taking it over, but I did discover something interesting. Tested out the champion's ability to gain experience, and what happened was it does not care about ships. I took out fighters, it didn't care. Took out riot control, it didn't care. When I destroyed buildings, though, that's totally different. The command station / warp gate combo gave it 409 or 400 points, and then it got 120 from destroying a special forces station guard post. So apparently that's how the champion learns. The champion learns by blowing up enemy structures. That's at least the operating theory now. It certainly seems to fit. Just about ready. Yeah, everything is up here. So now I want to go through, knock out the warp gates here, and we will have a secure situation, well, relatively secure, around our homeworld. And we can consider sending through into Larissa and trying to figure out what's going on there with our champion. Progress. It took us an hour to get set up in our first acquisition, but hey, better late than never. Well, things got a little complicated with knocking out the warp gates because we got our first beachhead raid here in Mimas, and at least it was in Mimas and not on the homeworld. This is the beachhead, and it says it's tough and armored, but it's only got 10 armor, which is not that much, 20,000 health, so, you know, I think that's a little bit overstating it. Thankfully, my relief force here came in partway, like right on top of it, so we didn't have to travel, journey to it. I think notice that's knocked everything out. One thing I didn't realize, it also knocked out the energy collector, which gives us a brownout, means our shields are down everywhere, including on the homeworld. So obviously, I've got to knock this thing out immediately, and I don't have that many ships, because I lost a lot of them. Notice we got this reprisal coming. I lost a lot of them working on the raiding, so we got to get rid of this first. There we go. And then I'm going to try to go after the rest of their ships here. But now everything's back online, and our teleporting leeches are getting hammered, but they're also creating lots of more fun things for the AI to shoot at here as they grab up a bunch of these missile frigates. And then now, only thing that's left is their starship, which we should be able to get soon. There it is. Okay. So we survived that. We should be able to survive this reprisal wave that's coming in. But yeah, the more significant issue is that we're not going to have enough energy. Like, even if I got rid of some things, we still wouldn't have enough spare energy to survive dealing with them knocking out the energy collector. And that's going to happen every time they send a beachhead wave. So hopefully I don't have to survive too many more of those before I'm able to get enough systems to have a little more secure energy supply. I think that's going to be even more important in this game because we don't even have to lose the system. All you have to do is have a beachhead wave come in and that's it. Alright, now this is Palace, and this is our last system that I need to nail the warp gates in. You can see it's right over here, right close to the entry. Thankfully they've got a fortress, but it's on the other side of the system. This is one of the blue systems, but the low mark ones right around us, thankfully they do not have the modular fortresses. Small mercy. Now there are a few threat ships in here, but the reason I'm taking my fleet in here and not just doing it with raid starships, they've got all these hybrids around. And from here, I just sort of want to hang out and defend against them. I'm going to use those shields as best I can. And I found like I can't fit everybody under one of them. So I do like a triangular thing here, and I can keep most of the fleet under most of it for a bit. And of course this isn't going to last very long because we're going to be, they run out in 20 seconds. But we can still do some damage to them from underneath here, and that helps out a bit. I'm going to reset a couple of these. And let's see, I can only build one more at the moment. So we'll go here. So yeah, this doesn't do a huge amount, it just helps a little bit. Yep, and then in flies some more. And then I sort of want to focus on whatever hybrids are the most damaged. Like I'll target that one, because they're the most dangerous. We'll go after that one next, because that red one's flying away. If they want to fly away, I say let them. Alright, let's see. Let's, oh, that one's still got its shield. Let's knock out that one. Or not if it's going to go off that way. Nope, nope, I need to get away from that fortress. I just want to, I'm just going to come over here, knock that out. There we go. Let's get rid of that hive. You know what, I don't see any purpose in hanging around here anymore. Let's get out. So that's the basic deal. Sometimes I get a reprisal wave. It looks like I did well enough in this case to probably narrowly avoid it. But now we have 30 AI progress. We did take out the one data center over here in Rhea. That's the only one that's really close. There's a bunch of others, but they're a little bit further away. We've taken one system. We got part of the AI progress back. You can see the floor is now 11. We would barely be able to fit another data center in there if we were nearby one anyway, but not concerned about that. And now I think we're ready to send the champion on to Larissa. I just wanted to hop back in here and point out that, you know, the only real way you can identify them by seeing them is they are a different color. They're this bluish color as opposed to the green color. But especially when there's, like, if you jump into an enemy system and there's wormhole guard posts and tachyon sentinels on top of it, all you're really going to see is the name Larissa. So it doesn't help a great deal. Of course, we got more preservation warden stuff. We've been knocking them out repeatedly. We've got our knowledge up, but of course, increasing the energy is the main thing. So I think what I want to do next is scout out more. I might want to head over here towards Iapetus eventually to get another wormhole. And I may even put up some metal converters real early here, just to let me build the fleet a little bit larger, since I've got plenty of metal. I probably will end up doing that. And then I also want to get our champion off on its first mission. So all of that will be coming up next time. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. More AOR Fleet Command will continue.